is News 4 Nashville.
And good evening, everyone. We are starting off tonight with what we've uncovered about last month's fire that destroyed 18 homes at the Brentwood Oaks apartments. It turns out even before firefighters started to try and get this massive apartment fire under control, they encountered several problems.
Yeah, our chief investigative reporter Jeremy Finley has uncovered this all today. And Jeremy, this is something that people need to know, especially if you live in an apartment complex.
Yeah, absolutely, which is a whole lot of you out there. Much of what we obtained comes from the final fire investigative report, and it exposes troubling problems that firefighters face that night. Tonight, we have also uncovered this is not the first time this complex has burnt to the ground, even though in both times it had a full sprinkler system. There are troubling similarities 9 years apart. Here's the 2012 fire that gutted more than 24 apartments at the Brentwood Oaks complex. And here's last month's fire that also burned 18 apartments to the ground. Now look at this. News 4 Investigates obtained photographs from inside a 2012 apartment before it burned. There are the sprinklers. And here's a photo from inside a 2021 apartment before it burned. Again, there are the sprinklers. The people may see this and think, well, I've got a sprinkler in my apartment. Now I don't feel safe. What would you say to them?
We are always concerned when stories like this develop that people will make the assumption, the misassumption, if you will, well, fire sprinklers just don't work. That's not true.
National experts on fire suppression tell News 4 Investigates the explanation how this happened twice at the same complex with a full sprinkler system lies in where the fires originated. Listen to this resident who says she barely escaped.
And I woke up to flames everywhere, all over the left side, the back side of my walls, on the top of the ceiling.
Did you hear it? She said it was in the ceiling. In the fire report, firefighters say they first spotted the flames on the roof. And it turns out if a fire is above a sprinkler system, it won't immediately activate.
It could eventually go off, but it's going to take a lot more time, a lot more heat to activate that sprinkler.
And remember, in this most recent fire, residents tell us the sprinklers never went off. In the final fire investigative report, it shows firefighters were delayed because there was an issue obtaining access to the gate of the property. The report cites the complex had a private hydrant system and there was an inadequate amount of pressure to fight a fire this size. Finally, it cites that Piedmont Gas Company couldn't shut off the gas to the building immediately and added to the size of the fire.
Hold on. You're telling me the fire hydrant, the equipment used to put out the fire, didn't have enough pressure to do so?
Yeah, so let that sink in, right?
Wow.
It's kind of troubling to hear, but here's the kicker. A spokesman for the fire department says those hydrants had the pressure they're required to have, but it wasn't enough to fight a fire of that size. Well, right now on our app, we have all the things that you've got to ask your apartment complex when it comes to how equipped it is to fight a fire. And you can also read the statement released by the owner of that complex.